A fan was ejected from a TNA show after attacking a wrestler. We've got an update on WWE vacating championships. And scrap WWE Saturday night's main event plans have been revealed. Stay tuned for all the juicy deeds. It is, of course, WWE Saturday night's main event's big return tonight.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We've been promised a big throwback, crazy, spectacular. I'm hoping that they're going to adhere to it. No stage. That's what I want. Just if you've got to do the neon archway and everything, do it. Get the rights back to WWF. Go on, you cowards. Just do that as well.
You're getting Jesse the Body Ventura back.
Just don't say anything and then get the F in. And that's a huge marketing tool. Get the F in.
Yeah, F in. We all love
aren't you watching wrestling? Get the F in.
Get the F in.
But according to PW Insider, WWE had scrapped plans for Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed, which was going to take place on the card tonight. The report notes that the match between the pair was expected to be a blow-off to their rivalry, but obviously, due to Reed's kind of gnarly injury, they were forced to scrap those plans. He, of course, snapped his foot in half, basically, in the
horrible
in
injury.
the War Games match. It's really grim to watch back.
Yeah.
But this has resulted in WWE bringing Drew McIntyre back a little bit sooner than planned to begin a program with Sami Zayn and replace that match tonight.
It's not a surprise, as you said, that the match has had to be scrapped. Bronson's injury is pretty gruesome. He is going to be out of action for quite a while because of his broken foot. It is a shame we've not getting this blow off. I really wanted to see that final match between the pair.
That was kind of it, right? Get the blow off out of the way and then onward and upward for Bronson and the Bloodline, and Seth can move on. But we're going to have to probably just put it on the taxi, registered, circle back to it at some point while Seth goes and does something in the meantime.
I just hope that it doesn't stall Bronson's momentum. Him coming back, he's had a great few months in making himself feel like a big name, a big star. And I would expect him to have beaten Seth in this blow-off. I was fully expecting that.
Yes.
And it's a shame that he won't get that opportunity. I feel like when he comes back, they need to make sure that he's brought back into a top match, possibly doing this one again, finishing the feud there.
Well, surely it's easy enough to do in the sense that if they do want to circle back to him and Seth, they've just got to have Seth go do another feud, and then when Bronson's fit and ready to come back, he costs him or something.
Yeah,
and
something
then
like
you
that.
just mow straight back into that match.
It's cool, though, that because of this, we are getting Drew back on TV.
Yeah.
Drew versus Sami is a match that I'll never complain about. That'll be a great match.
After earlier this week with Drew storming off the podcast and everything. It's all
Busted Open Radio, Drew shooting from the hip, making it what's real, what's not. Well, it's still real to me, damn it.
Still real to me, damn it.
But that'll be a good match tonight. It's a shame we're not getting Bronson.
No, well, Adam Pacitti will also be live with reactions here at, we believe, 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
YouTube.com/cultaholic/live. The room should be live right now. Go leave them a load of messages. But moving to the other side of the fence, we've got some merchandise reports here from WrestleNomics regarding AEW, and the Outrunners are the third biggest merch sellers for the month of November for AEW, but they're only third behind AEW branded merch.
Yeah, so the company itself.
They are kind of, if you take the company itself standardized logos out the way, they are the biggest selling stars.
For talent.
Yeah.
So the only two that are ahead of them, as Sam says, the AEW branded merch, and then the collaboration with DC, as in like DC Comics. Which is insane. The Outrunners, obviously.
I wish it was DC shoes.
DC shoes, a collaboration.
Everybody in big clumpy skate shoes wrestling in them. That wouldn't go wrong.
Darby would probably do it, to be honest. I'm buzzing for the Outrunners because they are a very popular team.
They've just got so organically over.
They have.
I think everything about them is just sort of screaming stars.
They've got Riz.
Yeah,
they've got Riz, and the fact that they have consistently been at the top of the merch sales for the past few months. I think they need to pull the trigger with them and
put the belts on them.
Get the belts on them.
Put the belts on them.
Get the belts on the top merch sellers.
Just do it.
Just do it. They're fun. They're great.
Very young.
They are young.
They've got a lot of upside.
Youngest men alive.
The youngest men alive.
The youngest men alive.
And they're still older than Undertaker.
And they're getting younger and younger.
They're getting younger and younger.
And they're selling more and more.
Yeah. Eventually, that entire arena is just going to be full of Outrunner shirts, and that's what I'm excited.
Might get one for Christmas.
You should.
Yeah.
And a hat and a bum bag and some Zubas.
Actually, you mentioned the bum bag, the fanny pack that they sell as part of their merch was one of the top merch items. Why? But also fantastic.
Everybody needs one. You go on holiday from time to time, you're going to need
a bum
somewhere
bag
to put all your stuff so that you can be like, nobody's going to steal it from here while you've got a bum bag full of money waiting to be stolen.
What a perfect piece of merch for them.
Yeah.
A bum bag.
No, it just aligns.
It makes
fully.
sense.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But keeping it with AEW here, Wrestling Observer Newsletter reported that Juice Robinson has had successful surgery on his broken fibula, another gnarly injury, but it's still unknown how long he's going to be out of action for. Hazard a guess? It's probably going to be a while. That's a big old boat to break.
And it was a spot that didn't look like it was going to break anything. It was a sunset flip on Collision in his match with Will Ospreay, and it sucks because, again,
I believe it was the Styles Clash, not the sunset flip.
Was it?
There was a report yesterday suggesting that was the
move that happened. Either way, it sucks to see Juice once again getting an injury. He's only, again, it feels just like he's just come back to TV after his previous injuries. And the Gun Club in general seem to be struggling with injuries at the moment after yesterday's report about why the Guns aren't there.
To put a pin on it and
maybe
move on.
But hey, Jay White's doing well.
I want Juice Robinson back covered in gummy bears. I'm sorry, but I do. Care Bears.
Man knows what he wants.
I miss Care Bear Juice Robinson with crazy glasses and. Those were the days. But right, moving over to some rather serious news here. Last night at TNA's Final Resolution event, Eddie Edwards was slapped by a fan. Now, while at ringside, he slapped something out of the fan's hand in the front row before they squared each other up. Now, if you go to a lot of independent wrestling events, this kind of thing happens a lot.
That's right. It's a
if you're
regular
still
occurrence.
on the front row and you've got a drink and there's a heel coming down, or if somebody gets in your face, or if you're chanting something against that wrestler, you might get a drink knocked out your hand. It sometimes happens. They'll square up to you. Now, the expectation is that you'll kind of go like, all right, square up a little bit, and then they'll turn around and the match will resume, and that's it. You've been part of the show, kind of, and it's interesting. But ultimately, the fan then proceeded to slap Edwards across the face, prompting Edwards to return the favor, which is the reason you don't slap or engage with talent. It's the same reason you don't climb over the barricade. You're going to get stamped out.
Such daft logic from that fan. Now, look... Having watched the footage,
I get there's going to be a lot of people going, well, you shouldn't have slapped the drink out of his hand, but it's part of the presentation.
Yes, it wasn't a very hard slap.
Yeah.
You shouldn't slap him, though. You shouldn't slap a wrestler or
You'll
anyone
learn very
working.
Quickly that you shouldn't do it, because obviously he got slapped back, and then Sean Ross Sapp has since reported that the fan was immediately escorted from the building and turned over to local police. So there's going to be a nice assault charge waiting.
Not a surprise there. He slapped someone on TV when they were working.
It's not like there's no evidence.
There is full evidence of it. Don't hit someone when they're working. And of course, Eddie Edwards is going to return the favor. It's not like he's going to back down.
He's not just going to let you slap him.
Edwards, though, played it off quite well. He turned to the camera and was like, we're all having fun here, and then continued with the match. It's just stupid behavior from a fan in the front row.
It boggles the mind, Fraser. But one thing that doesn't boggle the mind, and one thing that fills me with joy that absolutely I can't wait for, that also happened last night at TNA Final Resolution. Joe Hendry has once again earned himself a shot at the TNA World Championship after he defeated Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin, and Santana in a four-way match. He's going to challenge Nick Nemeth for the championship at TNA Genesis on January 19th. Is this the time that Joe gets it done, or are we going to hang for a third? Or is Joe going to evaporate to the big Fed in the sky?
I'm really torn on this, because I felt he needed to win it a couple months ago.
Same. That was kind of like, it was like he had scaled this impossible mountain, and we're all like, oh my God, it's finally happening for Joe Hendry. This is going to be huge. And then it just went, nah.
Yeah, and not to diminish his accomplishments here at all.
I mean, you got in the charts.
Yeah, at the height of his popularity, like of this current run in TNA, he was in a championship match. Yeah. Why didn't TNA put the title on him there? Maybe because they had a long-term plan that they wanted to do.
Maybe
but he is getting that shot at Genesis.
With this back and forth, we both own Joe NXT TNA thing.
It could be something involved there. The match happening at Genesis in January, though, I feel like it's pretty certain that he's going to win. Apart from one factor, if JBL's there, he's definitely losing.
Oh, but if he can stop JBL and hit him with the fall-away slam,
then he's winning.
That's the one.
Winning.
That's the one.
Yeah.
We've also got an update on a major match set for Raw's Netflix debut, don't we?
We do indeed. We mentioned Seth Rollins earlier in a scrapped match with Bronson Reed to blow off their feud, but it looks like one feud may be just starting to rekindle. We've seen little teases of it on Raw so far, but the Wrestling Observer newsletter has reported that those in WWE that they have spoken to have confirmed that WWE is planning on having CM Punk versus Seth Rollins take place on the January 6th episode of Monday Night Raw, the debut episode on Netflix. This comes after a lot of reports suggesting very similar plans, but this seems the most concrete as it is coming from those higher up in WWE.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense for Seth to circle back to this. Obviously, we were just talking before about the, that him and Bronson Reed and the potential blow off there. But circling back to Punk, it's a ready-made feud. The guys were at each other's throats before Punk re-emerged. It's something we haven't quite seen fully explored. So I think, go for it.
I'm really intrigued, though, why they are deciding not to extend it to WrestleMania. It felt like a ready-baked WrestleMania match.
It did.
And it makes me think that maybe we're getting CM Punk versus Roman at WrestleMania, or a CM Punk
well, he's got that
Cody
favor,
at WrestleMania.
doesn't he?
Something, exactly. He's got a favor there. It just feels like this should have been a WrestleMania match. I get stacking this Raw Netflix, as we said earlier. You want to make it look like it's a big premium live event pay-per-view.
If you had the favor from Heyman, though, you'd just ask him for another one-night stand. That's all you'd
careful
do.
now.
Or you'd squander it and you'd go, you know what I really want? CM Punk, legendary wrestler from the Indies.
Yeah.
I want one more match.
One more
With Bill Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. No, I think we've got to look at that down the line.
They'll
I think
book it now because
we
said
are
that.
looking toward potentially Punk Roman, and I think that's going to factor in. But again, we were saying it earlier. It does feel like this Netflix debut is understandably
it's a big deal.
A pay-per-view level show.
Yeah.
So I think that. Yeah, this match is going to be nice and dirty.
It's going to be good.
Yeah. But we also have an update here. Following Jade Cargill's recent injury status, it appeared that WWE might have been looking to vacate the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. However, after Nick Aldis suggested that he may be forced to remove the titles from Bianca Belair, Naomi has stepped in to fill the gap left by Cargill. Aldis was initially a little bit reluctant, but he was like, you know what? Bianca seems insistent. This has happened before.
It's happened before.
Everything's going to be fine. So they're going to defend the tag titles next week against an unnamed team.
Yeah, this is sort of confirmed in my mind that Naomi was the one that attacked Jade.
Yeah.
Like, this confirms it. For me, anyway, she's stepping in. She's now a champion.
Yeah.
She's not had to win a match to become champion. And they're facing off against a mystery tag team next week. I'm intrigued to see how long Jade's going to be out. We had reports yesterday about updates on her injury.
Yeah.
This is the first step on TV that we've seen that's sort of like actually going, okay, we are moving away from her just now because we've got these titles.
It seems she is internally listed on the injury report, so it's one of those where she is potentially going to be out for some time. So they do need to move on with it. And if it is Naomi who's attacked her, then this is great. It just circles round nicely,
got a story. They'll finish the story.
But once again, Adam Pacitti is going to be live with reactions to Saturday night's main event right here, youtube.com/cultaholic/live later on tonight. If you get over there right now, the room should be live to leave him a load of messages, and he'll answer you when he gets on.
I'll answer every single one.
Every single one. And if he doesn't, just keep spamming it. Just spam it. Copy paste. Just copy paste enter over and over and over and over and over and over again. It won't get you banned.
Nope.
Catch you in a bit.